Hey y'all, it's Brianna as always, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talking Spit. When I tell you guys Black History Month is the biggest month that I think for my platform, I have someone that's standing to the next left of me who is a phenomenal guy. Before I get into it, I want to read off our sponsors. So I'd like to thank Miss Sneak Marketing, Stop Dropping Rolls, and Queenie Collection for sponsoring this episode. And so before we get into it, introduce the people. This man does not need an introduction. If you follow him, you know who he is. If you don't follow him, you might want to start following him. So introduce yourself to the people and tell them who you are.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Tre, the realtor. I'm a real estate agent with the Signature Group and part of Keller Williams. So just getting into it with it.
He's so modest. Listen, so he's talking about this is Tre the money man. Look, you see, he got a Burberry hoodie on. He's trying to be modest. Tre is a phenomenal person. He has a phenomenal partner on his side. You know, everybody know her as Sue, but I know her as Teresa. Just throwing that out there. And he's a phenomenal father.
Y'all related, right?
Yeah, that's my step cousin. See, people don't even know that. Okay, that's my baby. But yeah, he's being super modest, y'all. When I say he's the man to talk to when it comes to real estate, he has not only sold houses to Javante Patton, he also sold houses to NBA players. So he's being modest, talking about, I'm just Tre the realtor, and yeah, that's it. No, this is the guy.
I'm humble. I'm humble. You know, like I
appreciate that about you.
Stay well grounded.
If people were to find you, where would they look to see you on Instagram? What's your Instagram handle, Facebook, all that different stuff?
So Instagram, Tre the realtor, and Facebook, just Tre Adams.
Tre Adams. So that's Tre Adams, not no Y.
Right. Well, I'm glad you caught that because a lot of people put the Y in there.
Okay, just the TRE. But yeah, so I wanted to know, so we can get right into it. So how long have you been into real estate?
This is going on my fourth year. I started in 2017. Part of that journey was I was at Comcast doing door-to-door cable. So I was selling cable door-to-door. People knew me as the cable guy. But it came to a point in time where I outgrew that position. It was great while it lasted, but it just, at the point in time, was like where my drive was going. It didn't make sense for me to continue to stay in corporate America because it didn't lie with my vision. So I found it being more purposeful by doing real estate. That's something I always kind of thought about, but if I want to bring it back, I started doing, I want to say, mortgages back then. So then I went back to Comcast. So now I got real estate. The reason why I said it, so it ties back into each other and stuff like that. So always kind of for real estate. Okay,
so Comcast, I seen that, like you got an award for that. So basically you've been selling forever because you had an award for being a Comcast. So I can see how that like translates over. Like that's definitely transferable.
Right.
And now me knowing your family personally, like I know a lot of people in your family are in law enforcement, right? That's on the other side. Like that. So what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna step outside of what's the norm, even if it's not the norm, right? And just go into real estate. Why was that?
The biggest thing is like I'm myself, you know, and that my family, that's what they enjoy or that's what they did. But I just never would be my passion. I've always been a salesperson. Been selling since probably, my mom will always say like I was the top salesperson selling shoes at Foot Locker. So I always had that sales mentality background, and then going into collection jobs to sales jobs, that's just been my forte. Me just going into the whole police department wasn't my thing.
It wouldn't be me either. I'm gonna throw that out there. I couldn't do it. Shout out to the Adams. Listen, all the sergeants and the officers, I couldn't do it. So listen, I get it. So you worked at Foot Locker back then?
Yes, when I was like 16, that was like one of my first kind of real jobs. In high school, I think it was 11th grade, I was selling shoes.
Oh wow! So if you was to say, what do you think makes you so good in sales? If you say you went from real estate to collections to Comcast, like why does sales draw you?
What I usually tell people when people think of sales, I think of it's more of a relationship job. People think, it's like when you think of salesy, I think more of a car salesman.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe not even that, because when I think of a sales, I think of more of building relationships with people that they can trust you. The sales will come, and having, you know what I mean? Like, I don't look at it like, oh, it's just a sales. I look at it as an opportunity to build relationships with people and
Yep.
them trusting me, and them always coming back to me.
You know what? That is huge. Like I worked at Enterprise, and
Yeah,
so he was like, "How did you?" I was in the top 10% of sales in the state for the 6 months that I worked there. And he was like, "How?" I just build a relationship, build
right.
rapport, figure out what they need. Once you figure out someone's need and they trust you, they're gonna trust your judgment. Period.
Well, right.
I've
I think
always
breaking
learned.
out.
Huh? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I think it was cutting out.
Oh yeah, that's look. Let me check my connection. Hey y'all, that's the thing that look. I got Comcast. You need to call them because my Wi-Fi should be fine. Okay, I know you still got some connections with people with Comcast. Tell them my Wi-Fi be cutting out sometimes. I pay too much money for this bill.
Right.
But no, so that's funny. So your mission has been ownership, right? And
Right.
knowing how hard it is for me, I think me owning a property, it was intimidating for a while. So like, how did you change the narrative for some of your customers, for some of your clients, I mean, and get them to change from renting's mentality to like ownership?
What I would do is, because I can speak on experience, because I bought my first house when I was 29, back in 2014. And I can just relate that, you know what, when I bought my first house, yeah, it was intimidating. Like, can you hear me?
Yep. Why does my connection keep doing this? Hold on one second. I don't know why. Let me see. Let me make sure it's connected again. Sorry about that. Refresh. I've refreshed. There we go. I think we should be fine once I do this. Do. Connection is stupid. All right. Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear
there
me
you go.
now? All right,
So,
we back. I apologize. I don't know what this. Listen, let me
you're gonna be
close
able
out
to
some
edit,
tabs, y'all.
you're gonna be able to edit it.
Yeah, I'll be able to edit it. So I'll edit out the little whatever. But let me close out some tabs. I'm like, why is my connection doing this? It's never done this before. I probably because I have mad tabs open. Hold on. I'm just gonna go ahead and exit out all of those. All right. That's why I hate technology. This is not the first time it's happened to me too. One of the ladies like, just edit it, sis. You got it. It's like, thank you, boo. All right. So the question. So I'll ask the question again, and then I'll go through editing it when I edit it. So I said, okay, boom. So knowing that owning a property can be extremely intimidating for me, to say the least. Like I'm looking to get into buy my own place. So how did you kind of change the narrative for your clients, from changing their mentality from renting to ownership?
I just speak on experience from when I bought my first house back in 2014. And I tell people, yeah, it's intimidating, like, because it's the unknown. You don't know what to expect. So it was like when I bought my first house, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even think I could buy one. But being amongst people that were in my field at Comcast, they had homes, and they're like, it's not that difficult. So then I took it upon myself to reach out to my family's realtor at the time, and got approved. Like I said before, I did mortgages, so I kind of understood a little bit of the background.
Yeah.
So then when I got approved, I'm like, damn, I got approved. I want to buy my first house. So then when I tell people, time will go by super quick, super fast. Right now we're in 2021. I still currently own that property
Oh wow.
that I bought back in 2014 for like 180,000 in Brooklyn Park. Like you can't even get a house in North Minneapolis for
No,
180,000.
not even.
So I'm like, and how I explain things to people is like, I probably owe right now 150 on it, but the house is worth like 280. So I got somebody renting it out, paying the mortgage down. I'm making a profit each month, and the values continue to go up.
Oh
So
wow.
you can't get that from renting. So that's why I kind of explain people like black and white.
And it's the crazy thing that you say. It is so black and white. When I think about how much money I've put into renting apartments, renting townhomes, whatever, you get none of that back. Like
No,
it doesn't contribute. Yes, okay, great, perfect rental history, but it doesn't contribute to me
no,
building generational wealth for myself. Now
right.
I understand that, but it's extremely intimidating when you got to talk about getting approved. And some people like my credit's not good. There is a lot of different things. So for you to just simplify it that way, I think it makes it something that seems like it's tangible. Because at first I'm like, how do you do this? I'm owning
Well,
a home, and then you feel committed to it. And
Right.
something that you mentioned, a lot of people don't even know. Just because you buy the home don't mean you got to stay in it forever.
No, I'd probably say like I just bought this current house I'm in right now back in 2019, and I told my fiance that I think I want something else now. And so we're probably going to end up we might sell this one and buy something different.
Listen, but see, you could listen, that right there, people don't even know. You could buy it and resell it, or you
Right.
could rent it. And that's why I'm interested in getting a fourplex.
My thing is, I like to be transparent with people I deal with so they understand. Like, I'm telling you how I go about things in the real. Like, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm letting you know exactly how I go. This is the blueprint of what I've done and what you can do as well. Because, like I tell people, I bought this particular house as a foreclosure. It was a nice foreclosure. I'll put it out there. I bought it for $350,000. It's worth about 470, and I just
you're gonna get a heck of a profit. See,
yeah.
See that right there? People don't even know. Like what you just said. It's okay. Me and you gonna have a conversation on the side because like I don't even know as much, but I know a little bit more than I think my audience does. And so, okay, knowing that, I call you the Mecca of Black realtors, a Mecca of realtors. Period.
I'm just doing my part.
I'm just being honest. When I say that you push the agenda of ownership in the Black community, it is phenomenal, King. And I say like it's inspiring, and this is why I wanted to bring you on my show. What made you push this agenda so hard like you do for the Black community? Here comes this internet.
I just want to be a voice for our people. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I just want to be the voice for our people. You know, I want to be the resource that can connect the dots so people can understand one, the importance, how much money they can make off ownership. And that, you know what I'm saying? I tell people, like, I deal with it all the time where people are in lease situations and they can't get out of it. They got to pay so much money to break that lease. And some apartment complexes that I've heard is just a horrible experience. And I'm like, me being a landlord, if I have a tenant that wants to move out and is going to better their family, I'm all for it. I'm not going to ever hold somebody to, hey, no, you can't do this. I'm like, no, we're going to make it fair. But at the same time, it's like, if I see that if somebody comes to me and say, hey, I want to buy a house, my lease is up, it'll happen.
Sorry, I think, is it my connection or is it your connection? I got a strong connection. Trey, it's yours. You probably got Verizon over there. You ain't got that Comcast. I'm just playing. Is it your connection? I'm just playing. Because like it keeps, I don't know why I keep doing that. This sucks so bad. How do you check the strength of your connection? I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, you just making my job. I'm just going to edit some more. And listen, I'm going to put this in here, y'all. If y'all don't understand how let me be transparent with my audience. I'm going to keep this in there. Y'all, I edit everything myself. I book my interviews. Ask Trey. I wrote Trey a couple weeks ago. Understand this is part of the process. And hey, we're going to keep rolling. And he said for him as a landlord, boom, you wouldn't hold your people accountable because I think a lot of landlords are slumlords. And also they are in it for all the wrong reasons. So continue your thought.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask, all right, so boom, you're in real estate. And I'm not going to lie, you are the first Black man that I've seen in real estate. Now, granted, I haven't been really interested in it as much. I'm talking about in Minnesota. So I haven't really looked into it as much as I should have. But when you introduced it to your platform, it was the first time that I realized, okay, wait, like someone that looks like me, a Black man, is in real estate. Has there been any challenges in being in this field?
Yes, there is challenges in this field. And it's funny because a lot of people look at it like, I get it all the time. Like, you make it look easy. You make it look fun. And not understanding that there's a lot that I go through on the back end. Especially with dealing with the amount of clientele that I deal with. Is so many. I'm involved with all my clients' transactions. I know exactly every step of the process. So it's like I'm dealing with so much on each particular client that at any given time, like something can go wrong, I gotta jump in. I gotta be able to manage it. So people are like, oh, they see the closing pictures, but they don't see the back end of things, all the stress. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, like, I'm dealing with clients that are dealing with divorces, breaking up, and being the mediator, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dealing with a lot of. I'm like, at this point, about to be like go get my degree to be a therapist or something like that.
And so when you talk about, like, this is a segue, like a side question. When you talk about some of the challenges on the back end, like, what does it look like, right? Like, I've tried the buying a house, so I understand, like, getting approved, and what does that back end process look like? Because everyone say, okay, dang, Trey sold another house. That's all they see. Like, if you was to give, like, just a couple examples of some things that you go through on the back end to just get to that picture that you put on your Facebook.
I can tell you, like, right now, I'm going through a situation where a client, we were supposed to close on a house 2 days ago, but this was not my preferred lender. It was an outside lender, that's out of state lender. So when things like that, that's why I usually are particular about who I send my people to, that I know that's going to be able to close the deal with no problems. But when you're dealing with outside lenders and stuff, and lenders that are probably not as good, it can make things challenging. And so then you're dealing with the seller. My buyer is dealing with the seller, who's basically probably already moved out, but now we're not closing on his house, so it's a delay. So they're in between houses, so it's like a whole domino effect. So it's like, you know what? Like, with me, I got to make sure I can minimize any delays.
So when you say, like, a realtor is like the middle person, like, you are connecting the pieces, like, you talking to the lender, you're talking to the seller, you're talking to the buyer, like, you kind of fuse everything together. That's what your job would entail.
So, like, me personally, I'm dealing with the down payment assistant people, the lender, the title, the inspector, the other realtor.
Oh, so you're dealing with all them people.
I'm dealing with everybody involved.
You know what, you guys, that just speaks even more, because I have no patience to deal with more than 2 people, and he just named 5. So I'm just throwing that out there.
So it's like,
wow, that's crazy. I never knew that it's that many. I know the process is tedious, but I didn't know it's that many people on the back end just to close a deal. That's crazy. Yeah. So, of course, I have done my research on your group, of the signature group, and last year y'all sold a little over 100 houses. What separates y'all from other realtor groups in the state of Minnesota? Because in reality, I was trying to find the numbers. There's not a lot of groups that's doing what y'all are doing. So what separates the signature group from everybody else?
One of which we're passionate about what we really do. This is something that, you know what, we love to do. This is not like a job for me. It's more my passion. And that's the same as far as the people on the team as well. So I got my partner, Julia, Lasha, Olu, Kevin, Justin, Pierre, Ruby, Emma. So it's all of us. We're all working for our particular clients. And it's just like, you know what, we have goals. Like, I think is like, people look at it from the outside, like, yeah, they're making a lot of money, or they're making money. But at the same time, like, my thing is like, how can we help bridge the gap? How can we more understand the importance of home ownership and put people in a better situation?
Better situation. Yep, I'm blaming it on Trey. Moving forward, it is Tre Adams. I'm coming to the house. I'm about to give you my box.
I'm gonna move my connection and see.
I'm blaming it on Trey, y'all, because Trey got the radio. But the great thing about this is that this is family. So this makes it very, very easy, y'all. And I'm excited that I actually am experiencing this, because I'm realizing that I'm getting better. If it was my first interview, I'd have been flustered and all upset and mad. Like, why is this happening to me? But now I've got real good at just being like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm straight.
All right, we'll start that one over. Can you see me?
Yep, we're gonna start that one over. So let's look at the question that I see it. I got my questions on my phone right here. Oh, okay, boom. All right. So can you hear me?
Yeah, can you see my face?
Yeah, I can see your face. You look good. You look silent, and the white background is great. So okay. So knowing that, I've done a little research on you, and I seen that the signature group last year sold a little over 100 houses. There's not a lot of groups doing what y'all doing at all. Like I can barely find groups that are even hitting past thresholds of over 50, right? So like what separates your group from any other realtor group in the state of Minnesota?
One as far as a group, like I said we're family. You know, we have one vision, and that's how we can one bridge the gap. But it's help as many people understand the importance, especially our millennials that are up and coming. So it's like I got clients right now. I think my youngest client just bought a house at 21.
Oh wow!
So it's like stuff like that is like super dope. But as far as our team go, we have the same vision. When we all came together, like, no, we come together, we make goals, and how can we make a big impact into Minnesota?
Absolutely, I can say that is 100%. That is 100% spot on. I think that when I look through all you guys' individual Facebook pages, y'all all have the same type of message. Like
Yeah.
when I say this, it's like uniform, and it's not like a copy and paste message. It's like you guys have the same vision in the sense of like I want to push home ownership, and that's phenomenal to me. I think that's dope. So,
Yeah.
what would you say keeps you inspired and keeps you motivated, just in general?
One, just I would just really just the fact that I get so many people to reach out to me, but to make the one of the biggest decisions of their life, and for them to trust me to do that, that means a lot. So that keeps me motivated. I get a lot of my clientele sends me everybody. They're vouching for me. They're calling me excited, saying, "Hey, I got somebody looking to buy a house. You know, I'm gonna send them to you." Like that keeps me going. But more importantly, I tell people like my biggest thing is one of my motivations, other than my family, is so I don't have to go back to corporate America.
That is huge. Working for you. Listen, corporate America. Listen, I'm not gonna say what I was about to do because I don't want nobody to know. But probably it might be different by the time February. My life is about to change. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. But my biggest thing is I can never go back to corporate America. So like, this is why I work so hard at what I'm doing, because I've been in that field. I understand it's not for everybody, especially for us. Sometimes they don't want to move us up, and that's one reason why I left Comcast. But we're not going to talk about that.
But no, honestly, so like the thing is, so you can control your own destiny in real estate. That's what I'm saying.
It really is. Yeah.
What you put out is what you get back.
Correct.
Maybe I need to get into real estate. I'm just playing. I ain't got the patience, but good job. I mean, that's good for y'all. I don't have the patience to deal with multiple people. I love this type of interaction. Just throwing it out there. And so, like you said, that you are, you work really, really hard to stay in the position that you're currently in right now, right? So how do you manage being one, an active father, an active fiance? Because I've seen you at the mall. You was getting yourself something and Sue something. I was like, look at him. So how do you manage and balance that and still be a successful realtor? Because I know for a fact, even when I was in my process, I'm on the phone with the realtor in the middle of the night. And so how do you balance all of that?
To be honest, I do not a good job at balancing that. However, my fiance she understands what I'm trying to accomplish and what value I bring to the family. So she allows me to do my thing. Which
Come on, cousin. He said she allows me to do my thing. Like that's all I love.
Appreciative of, because a lot of people, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like when you have somebody that supports you and wants you to succeed and win. That's all that. You know what I'm saying? How can you not work hard? But as far as probably balancing out that's probably one of my weaknesses that I do need to work on. But right now I'm just like in a phase where I'm still building the foundation of the business. Once I get everything up, once I get all the wheels running and everything good, then, you know what I'm saying, maybe I can relax. But right now, I'm still building.
Absolutely. So, okay, this is a segue because this is me. I don't know how to relax, right? And so you said this is something that you're still working on. Like, I don't know how to do it. Yeah. So how do you find downtime for yourself? Now, granted, you have obligations outside of yourself. How do you manage that? Because I know it has to be stressful.
There's really no downtime. I'm too young to have downtime. I think the most downtime I got was on Christmas and maybe New Year's Day.
I get it. So basically what you're telling me, keep working, Brianna. Your downtime's gonna come. Got it? Because I'm not 30 yet. I'm only 29, so I got some time to continue to keep it rolling.
Right.
So what are some of your goals for 2021 for you, like business, personal, whatever you're willing to share?
So our goal as a team, our goal is to do 50 million in volume, which is about probably over 170 homes. So that's our goal. Business wise, that probably looking at buying some more property this year. So I think that's my biggest goal.
Yep. Listen, ownership. Yeah, if y'all understand, that's the biggest. That is I just say that's a stain. That is the biggest stain of if once you get to the part of owning something, think about it. It's literally easy. It's the plug. Once you get into real estate and you start learning how to like flip things, and that's a whole nother conversation. I talked to someone about that and I was like, it's that easy. It's really that easy sometimes. But it's the biggest thing that's was introduced to me in 2020. I feel like you can make so much money if you wanted to be in that industry of flipping houses and buying properties and reselling them, living places. Yeah.
So, yeah, it can be that, but at the same time, people just because it looks easy don't mean it's going to be easy.
Oh yeah.
Just because like people think that flipping houses is hard. It's time consuming, and then you also have to have the right contractors, and then you got to make sure these people are putting out the right product. A lot of people are getting flipping houses, and next thing you know, that the house don't sell, and now they're out of money, and the house is sitting.
Like the people across the street from our house. That house been sitting there for about 6 months on the market, and they need to drop their price. It's not worth it. It's like 1,600 square feet, and they're trying to get 75 for it. You tripping? It's not happening. It's not happening. But okay. So question before we get into, the spit on the street, the viewers submitted some questions. What would be your advice for someone who aspires to get into real estate?
The biggest advice is making sure that this is something you want to really do, be passionate about it, not just because you think it's easy and you're going to make a lot of money, because in that case, a lot of people don't make money. It costs a lot to be a realtor. So you just got to be really, this is something that you really want to do, passionate about, want to help people really achieve their goals. And then I always recommend, if you want to do it, just make sure you do it full time to get the full benefits of it. A lot of times people think you can just do it on the side or do it part time, but in this type of market, when things are super busy, when a client want to go see a house and you can't be available, then what?
That is true.
So it's like if you're gonna do it, I'd recommend doing it full time
and being committed to it, because It's not one of those jobs you can go back and forth on it. Like, you have to be completely open. Your schedule, it's like, to be honest, there's a certain careers that you need to be open and available all the time. That's one of them, and also people who do hair. Just don't.
Right, that is true.
Because when my person go out of town, I'll be like, why are you going out of town? I need to get my locks retwisted. That's selfish.
Right. I didn't think that. It was funny you said that, because I'm like, especially when my barber go out of town, God damn. So,
man, don't you be mad? Like, what you mean you going on vacation?
Right.
So this is the newly launched Spit on the Street. So there's 3 questions that was submitted by some different viewers. And so the first question is the first time home buyers programs. Like, what kind of programs are available to people in Minnesota? How would they go about going to get involved in those programs?
So there's right now that just came out was a Neighborhood Live program. They can reach out to me and I can give them all the information. There's a lot of details in regards to that one. It just came out. There's Minnesota Housing that's always out there available. Typically, I have a 650, 660 credit score. But then there's city programs, there's neighborhood programs. So there's a lot of different programs for people to buy houses. So with the right the lender or real estate agent will be your key point.
Absolutely. Okay. Next question. So someone submitted, they said, can I still get a mortgage loan with a repossession on my credit?
Say it again.
So someone said, can I still get a mortgage loan with a repossession on my credit?
I believe you can. It just really depends. I think from what I've heard or seen, um, I think as long as don't quote me, uh, I don't know if it's a judgment. It may have to be paid off, or you're on a repayment plan on paying that off. But
Oh,
it's not going to stop you from. We can find ways to get you into a house.
well, there's a will, there's a way. Person that's submitted that question. Okay. And then last question. When they verify bank accounts, how far back do they go?
Um, the most I've seen was 6 months. Typically, is about 2 months.
Okay. So okay, this is a segue for me. When I was so, you know how me, I have my own LLC, my own business. And before I actually had my business account, a lot of my money was going into my personal account. And so I had to like take out all that money because I can show that it's for my business. Like, why is that process so tedious like that? Because I know that what someone told me that said they want to make sure you're not a drug dealer or something like that. They were just being funny. But why is it that like very tedious? Like you have to make sure all your money is accounted for.
The biggest thing is when banks lend you money, they want to make sure that you're not taking loans out from certain people.
Okay.
And that's why when it's like cash, they can't source where that money comes from. So they just want to be able to source that. Basically, they just want to make sure you're not taking a loan out, because then they have to count that into your debt to income ratio and stuff.
Absolutely. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, that's all I got. This was so dope. Y'all, we had a couple technical difficulties.
I know that was your service. That was your.
I'm gonna blame it on you. I got Comcast. Is Comcast not, or is it Xfinity? What is it?
Same thing.
Same thing. Comcast, Xfinity. That's what I had. We had shout out to them. But if it was my connection, I'm gonna call them. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to fix it because this bill. We got 6 TVs in this house and internet. Y'all gonna have to figure it out. But no, thank you so much, Trey. Like when I tell you, I was actually nervous for this interview because I'm like, dang, like Trey, the biggest person I had on my platform outside of Javante. I need to make sure I'm on my all my A game.
We come from the same background, so
Absolutely, we come from the same hood.
I appreciate the opportunity and for you to reach out to me. Like, you don't got to be nervous about it. Like,
I know, and I appreciate you. And so, always y'all make sure y'all follow Trey on all his social media platforms. Follow Talk and Spit on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. And always y'all, peace, love, happiness, and success. I'll talk to y'all later.